All right, shalom, shalom, my brother. All right,
Shalom, shalom.
shalom. All right, we have made it.
Yes,
Last
it's
week,
time for
yeah,
power
yeah,
up.
exactly. Last week, we had missed out, and so they put my wife on the cutting table, so we had to take out time to in her recovery to make sure that those things will be where they should be. So but I'm excited and thanking the Father for all things. Oh man, it switched on me, didn't it? Oh, I lost you, my brother. Oh, I think I lost him. We may get him back. Looks like I lost him. Let me see here. Okay, you see if he'll pop back here. Oh yeah, we loving it. We loving it. All right, all right. I think he'll come back with him soon. We just had to drop out. Let me see who's in the room. All right. Well, look like they late coming in the room even. Okay. All right. I think we connected and we rolling. I think so. Oh yeah. Oh the okay, my brother, you there? Say it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
It's always something.
Yeah, yeah. Leave you there. Um, you didn't want to leave me so soon. If you didn't want to be here, you could just say something. I would have.
Ah.
Let me know you exit exit on me. So hopefully you hold on in that. I am so grateful to be here and the things of the Most High. I don't see anybody in the chat room yet. So I know that. They have an idea that we coming. I wanted to maybe incorporate those that might be here in the chat room, but we may be the only one standing by that is live today, huh? In that, so oh man, what a time! What a time! Well, on the Gregorian calendar anyway, each January, we always go through Proverbs, right? And in the past, we went to Proverbs different times. We did different challenges with Proverbs. We read it. But normally the basis is that we do a chapter a day, and then we do it. and in accordance to what the date of the day is. So the day would be the 11th, of course. So we would look at, and we've been looking at chapter 11, right? And so tomorrow be the 12th, and then we would look at chapter 12 as well. We would look at that also, and then 13 and so forth, all the way up to 31. And I think that's one of the reasons why we do. I think we had mentioned earlier, it's really power packed. When you think about Proverbs, that's something that's a lifelong type situation, and something to really meditate on, and to do all those things. So I am. Each time or each year, and then it's not the only time, I'm sure, that we look at it, but it's just something that we have a focus on, and kind of sit the Gregorian calendar out when we're thinking about January. A lot of times, so many people kind of reset and do a reset on that, and so of course we know that the Father also give us the things that we need to do, and he had gave us a calendar as well. So in the diaspora, as we so sometimes we have to go through several calendars in order to function in the way that we are now. And then one day maybe it won't be like that as much. We'll just do. We'll be free to do just what the Father told us to do, and keeping the time and the season in that.
Hallelujah.
But yeah, but until then, we're gonna always do that the best that we can, and I'm grateful for that. And I know that it'll work. It'll work for all of us in that. So that's some of the things that we'll jump into tonight. Let me see if I can get this up. Okay, we'll look at, and we do this talking about a little bit of the title of that was being sincere. So we want to be a people of sincere, but the designated point is righteousness. So that's what we want, in order to advance our life, and the life incorporating everything that we have, right? So righteousness will always advance us. So that's what we need to do, is have the fruit of righteousness in that. All right. So we got one. Well, we got one in the chat room anyway. All right.
Hey,
Yeah. That.
shalom.
Shalom. Shalom. So, the advancement of that would be life. So, righteousness is for those of us that are in covenant with the Most High, and that's what we are looking at. We're looking at the things of righteousness, right? And I think Proverbs, Mislay, of course, is that which builds on that. It could build on that, and then we just not fighting the air, but we have a place that we can go in that. A place that we can go, a place that we can build in that. So, though, if I would had some in the room, I was gonna we're not gonna go, just touch a couple of scriptures in chapter 11, of course, in that. And one of the things that I was gonna do is look like we don't just my wife in there, but okay, we'll go. I was gonna tell them to put up a number two, and we would deal with the verses that they put up. But what we'll do is we'll just jump right in. There's a couple of scriptures that kind of stood out to me, and then I'll allow you to maybe echo maybe a couple of scriptures that may have jumping out, or something that may touch your heart as well. The false scales is an abomination to Yahweh, but a perfect weight is His delight. So when we're thinking about righteousness, one of the things is we don't do false scales. Is that right? We don't want to do that. And so this is Proverbs chapter 11 and then verse 1, right? And Proverbs 11 verse 1. So that's what we're dealing with in that. So I just bounce it off and looking at those things in that. One of the things of righteousness, we have to be sincere in it, is, let me pull my little note up in that, is we want to we are not a people of deception, right? So this is what the principle, and this is what I'm getting out of this, and of course how they had the scales even then. But we never want to be able to deceive anyone when you're in covenant with the Most High, right? We don't want that deception there, and so that's very, very important in that. So, and then as we walk in, we know that we don't want to do those things, and uh, so whatever we are looking at, we definitely as righteous and being sincere in that, we're not looking at dishonest practices. All right. So that can go all the way across the board on that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to look at those things and see those things, right? As we begin to build in this. So, all right, we got some that's coming in the room now, and that's good. So, when we are in covenant with Him, and then we representing the things of the Father, right? We want to always do things that will bring delight to Him as well as to our life, right? So, if we bring delight to Him, then it'll echo in our own lives, and that's what they will see, right? Because anything that the Father do is whole and is complete, and is right. And so accurate measurements to the best of our ability, that which is right, righteous, then that's what we'll do, right? So we want to do those things in that. All right. So we are beginning in Proverbs, of course, chapter 11, and then we had verse 1 in that. Now, what I wanted to do was there is a verse that also I will probably almost end this with. But those of you that's in the chat room, I want you to put up a number. I think, what is this? A number between one. Well, we just did one between 2 and 30. How many verses? 31 verses, I think, in that. So, what one of you just? I want you to participate. Those of you that just put up a number between 2 and 31, and then we'll look at that verse real quick. Like, I know we may have a little delay, but we'll see what we got. And so grateful that those that I know that are standing by, and then those that are in the chat room as well. See if they still awake or are they asleep. Well, which one is it? Yeah, get some participation in here. We'll see what we got. And that in anyone to give us a number. All right. No number? Okay. Oh, 27. All right. 27. We got some numbers here. Let's go to 27, verse 27. All right. Let's see what we got here. He who earnestly seeks good, that's a good one, seeks what is pleasing, but to him who seeks evil, it comes to him. All right. So we should seek what? Good, right? So a righteous person seeks good. That's what it does. He who is righteous, but again, it goes to sincerity and something that you are looking at. Let me see if I had a couple of, excuse me, notes on this as well. When you're looking at that, it's very, very important, right? So we always want to be a people. And if we do that, seeking what is pleasing, right? If we're doing that, and but to him who seeks evil, it comes to him. So whatever you seek after is going to come to you, right? Whatever you seek is going to come to you in that. So I'll let you jump in there on 27 as well. Do you have something on 27, my brother?
Shalom, can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, yes. Uh-huh. Just don't leave like you.
Shalom. um, so, sorry, he always gets me.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
done.
I put you on the spot that time. Yes.
Yes, you always get me. I'm just trying to, it's like the recoil, from what happened.
Yes.
Um, so I guess really what's jumping off the page and 27 is defining what is pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because it will say he who earnestly seeks good or looks for good. That's their that whatever it is, it's going to come to this point of it being pleasurable or pleasing. So I'm my heart is telling me, well, who's the one defining this thing that what is pleasing? Because I think a lot of people may find things to be pleasing, but they may not all be good. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking in the sense of, okay, well, if I have a standard for what is good, then it also will, like you were saying back in verse 1, I'll be able to have something that is that's delightful. So I'm thinking that these things have to, it would be something I've seen before, something that is it's not just a desire of my own eyes, it's good according to the Father. So
Mm-hmm.
when I'm thinking about seeking what is good, it can't just be something that's determined good, just in the land that I live in, because there's a lot of things that people. I mean, we all know the verse where it says that people will take good for evil and evil for good. So
Mm-hmm.
we're in the days right now where a lot of things to which man calls good may not actually be good. So
Right.
I'm thinking
So what? So what do
when
you
the
think?
Messiah said, "Oh, I'm sorry."
No, no, no. I was saying this good here. So just earnestly
These would
seeking.
be the matters of the kingdom.
Yes, yes. That's
These
where
are
I
going to be
wanted
the
to get.
matters of the kingdom.
Uh huh. Right.
Yes. Yes, and those things will be added on to you when you're pursuing the kingdom first.
Mm-hmm.
Seek the
Mm-hmm.
kingdom of the heaven first,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and those are the things I'm going to say that are going to be pleasing.
Right.
Doing right onto those who are less fortunate, showing your brother the same kind of love you desire to receive. You know, not putting others down, but lifting them up. Things along the kingdom, not worrying about your life or the consumables of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So those are
Mm-hmm.
those are the those are the things that my heart is thinking of. Not get a new Lexus. you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know. Let's keep the business open really late on Friday so that we can make a little bit more cash. No, not that type of mindset. I'm thinking more along the lines of these are the things that are honoring to Yah's word and to the kingdom.
Absolutely. And then it was talking about seeking what is pleasing to me.
No, sir, to the Most High.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So there is a qualifier, and some of the things that when our focus is in Proverbs here, some of the things are laid out that wisdom is laid out. Uh, in that what is pleasing to Him, because like you said in verse 1, we started out already. We know what abomination. Some of the abomination is to him, and I think some people they grab other things and they say, "Oh, that's abomination." But yeah, well, not being honest is one too. you know we jump right over that sometimes in what we are seeing in that. So whatever you put out, then that's really what you really receive. It's sort of like that thing about you reap what you sow, and all of that. So something you have to do earnestly. Now when you think about that word earnestly, what are you thinking about?
I'm putting it in a category. It's something that's of importance to you, so you're
Mm-hmm.
you're looking for it. It's more along the category of like thirsting for it. Is the way
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting it. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
typically when someone's thirsty, they instantly go get a drink. They don't even think about it. They just go get a drink. So that's the category I'm putting it in. It's something that it's important to you. So you know how to acquire it because you've
Mm-hmm.
put time into looking for it. You know where it's found, and you know what it looks like and how to do it. So you're earnestly seeking it. You're familiar with it. In the sense that it's not something that is foreign to you, and it's not something that someone has to force. It's not like getting your children to eat the vegetables. you know, this is something
Right.
you as soon as it's upon your heart, you're fulfilling that need.
All right. Yes. Yes. Okay. And that's good. All right. Now we have 27. From 27, we go to verse 15. Let's see what we got there. Uh, he who is a garner of a stranger suffers harm, but the one who hates shaking hands is a pledge is safe. Now I was looking at that. What do you think about that?
Oh, this goes in so many different veins.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess we could right now, like people say, keep it in the friend zone. I'd
Right.
say, you have to know the people in your circle,
Right. Good.
know their character, know what they're known for, uh, and how can I say, if they're trustworthy or not. So
Mm-hmm.
if we end up becoming a guarantor, or let's say we loan money to someone who isn't trustworthy with their funds, we shouldn't expect them to be able to replenish the things to which we have given them. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Right. Right.
because this individual's lifestyle does not represent uprightness or trustworthiness. So why would you become guarantor, or why would you guarantee something to fail? That's no
Right.
one wants to do that, because you're going to suffer harm. If you give someone, you say, I'm going to cover you on a particular thing, and you're just like, okay, I'll spot you back, but then that never comes. But yet I expected it to come because you said it would. I may
Mm-hmm.
suffer
Mm-hmm.
harm because I've relied on someone that's unreliable. And then, but he who hates shaking hands in a pledge is safe. I'm looking at it in the sense, this is the person who's cautious about what type of deals or what type of um, even arrangements or agreements or situations they get themselves into. They're
Mm-hmm.
very aware of their situation and their surrounding. They know when to speak. They know when to be quiet. They know, this is the type of person who is not very quick to volunteer without hearing the whole matter to its completion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is the type of person who, yes, has a desire to help, but also knows that with the circumstances of life comes harm and ruin and failure. So they're very cautious about what they choose to do and what they choose not to do. Not that they won't help people. This is obviously the righteous person is going to help, but this person doesn't just, in my heart, doesn't jump headfirst into every situation, especially
Mm-hmm.
with those who have bad reputations.
Right, right. And I think that you did excellent with that approach. Of course, that stranger is one of the things that when you're looking at it there, that person, from, could be from another culture, don't understand what you understand. So when we dealing with those that are not, say, um, uh, uh, respectful to the community, then sometimes that could be, you could suffer harm in that, right? So like you were saying,
Yes,
just
sir.
kind of know what you got, because that could be a bad risk when you're thinking about financial responsibility. Right. So you definitely don't want to jump into anything like that, so
Yes.
yeah, you don't want to jump in there. So that's real good in that. All right. Okay. Next we have verse 29. Let's see. We can drop down to 29 here as well. Oh man, he who troubles his own house inherits wins, and the food is servant to the wise of heart. All right. All right. Did you want to jump in there?
I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. All right. That was a good comeback there. It was a good comeback. He who troubles his own house inherits win. Now think about the trouble that is, and that's the word that I wanted to even just home in and focus in. Is it refers to the actions? It refers to the life difficulties that one has in his household, right? So in order to it's no, like we were saying, shalom or no peace there. And so it is with this person, is just like when we have uh like the family, it says, and the food is a servant to his wise of his heart. So you think that everything is okay. Let me see if I had I had another uh, cross reference verse I think around here. You thinks everything's okay, but it's not.
Hmm.
Oh, where it is that? Where is it at? I thought I had one down here. All right. So anyway, the food. One of the things that is that the servant of that is um, when you think about mismanaging the affairs of your home, right? And I think that's the idiom of the winds that it was trying to bring out there. The idea of oh man, so the wise in heart. So, other words, you do not want to bring trouble in the home. That's what I guess I was trying to get to, right? You don't want to do that, right? And so, what you want to do is to make sure that um, there was a verse that it's on my mind about that when I was looking at it earlier. But to be wise. Other words, wise of heart, right there. The fool is a servant to the wise of heart. So when you, other words, the fool is not trying. A fool is not trying to um, make his household shalom or make the right decisions on behalf of his whole
Hmm.
household. You know, so it could be going, and I'm gonna use this not necessarily that this is what this verse says, but the winds that go back and forth. Sometimes you could, the wind blows stuff all different kind of ways, and you're not settled in what you're doing, you know, and so it brings about a certain amount of chaos in that. So that's one thing that you don't want to do is bring is inherited chaos in your own home, right? You don't want to do that
Yes, sir.
uh, because what happens is then, and it says, "And the food is a servant to his." Let me see what it says in another version, and it might bring it out. One who troubles his family will inherit nothing, and the fool will be a servant to the wise person. Right. So we don't
Hmm.
want to do that. Of course, that's what we're gonna always go after is that in that, right? And so if you're a wise person, you always gonna be ahead. Your home is always gonna be stable. I'm trying to just stay in the home here. I'm kind of hooked on that one, right? Your home will always be
Yes, sir.
stable, and so you should be always be able to give out advice, in that. So if your home is not stable, you may want to look into see what's going on in the foolish area, in that. So the number one thing I thought was I had so many thoughts on that. The number one thing that I want you to grab from that is uh, making it difficult in your life. A person making it difficult, and that's what we don't want to do. We don't want to make it difficult in our life. And because I probably have to add the fruits of righteousness as a tree of life, right? In verse 30,
Yes,
which
they're
I
going to
wrote
go
down.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, they, you know what I'm saying? They can't. You have to put all in that. And here's a key in that on verse 30. Let me raise this up a little bit is that fruit. This is what we have to have the fruit of righteousness. So, sincerity. So, people that are sincere and serving the Most High, those that are righteous, their fruit is righteous. So, you can come to them at any time with the tree of life. That's what a tree of life is in the things of the Father. So, when you think about the tree of life, that's what you think about, right? And then of course it say who is winning souls or winning lives is wise. I had another quote of mine in that. So that's some of the things that I was. Let me see something here real quick. The home, the trouble, of course, to stir up. I just wanted to see
Yeah,
what.
that's what I just saw.
Yeah, yeah, okay. You seen that too? Okay. Yeah. Did you want to
Yes,
add
sir.
something to that? Okay.
when you had said that about his own home, it, of
Hmm.
course, everybody's going through a journey.
Yeah, yeah,
So, we're all on different levels. So, to come to the higher level of things, you had to start lower. But
hmm.
what got me when you said that last part about he who troubles, I did happen to glance at it in the Hebrew, and that word is a verb, and it's talking about he who like stirs up.
Right, right.
So what got to me is like, okay, so this guy let's say it this way, individual stirs up a conflict, and when they cause this conflict to come up, what they inherit is emptiness. It's like nothing but like hot breath.
Yeah, yeah,
Here it
right.
is. You stirred
Hmm.
up this conflict, and now you just got a room full of heated temperature. Heated people, and why did you stir up the conflict? Like, this is somebody who's not content in themselves. Since this person has, they're short of the tree of life inside of them. So now they're also projecting outward that this inward stirring and this emptiness, because then it
Hmm.
would go and say, and the fool. And so the fool is this person is without. So this is that person who's without. So this person who's without is going to end up being servant to the one who has. So
Hmm.
I'm seeing that the one who has wisdom will always be the one who doesn't stir up trouble and brings about shalom. And like you were saying, they also have the ability to bring about this fruit of righteousness wherever they go, which delivers other people, which saves lives instead of
Right.
stirring up trouble everywhere they go.
Yeah, exactly. And that stern like that and heard that wind, the wind is like you all over the place. You can't grab nothing. Wind is just once you
Yes.
blow it up, like you were saying, once you blow the house up like that, then what you're gonna do? It's just empty, Cause most I have found out most encounters like that, they are empty. You there have been times I'll be
Very.
saying, I bet, say if I'm troubling the home and all of a sudden I say, well, where did that come from? I can't. Well, how did we get here? I can't tell you how we got here. Sometimes, when I think about those things, how did we get here? And so that's very very important. In that. So when you're thinking about that and the mismanagement of the affairs of your of the home, you know what I mean, in all of that. So it's very that's and this is part of like when we're thinking about miscellaneous proverbs, it's part of the wisdom that we do have in that. So but what we shooting for is that wise heart though, and if we can stay there, then
Yes.
we don't have to worry about the winds, because why? It's that fruit of righteousness. We want to be a people, and this is what our goal is, because we want to bring life to people, one of these times maybe we'll teach on this here, but because that's one liners that people say, he who is winning lives is wise, and some know it as souls. He who wins souls is wise. Yeah, but here's the problem. It ain't just what you talk about, is do you have the fruit though of righteousness? That's very, very important in that you have a fruit of righteousness. And so it'd just be vanity, if those things didn't go forth or how those things going. So that's an awesome thing. So we did 27, we
Hallelujah.
did 15, and we just did 29. So let's go to 12 now, verse 12. Let's see what we got here. All right.
Oh, it's a special
And
recipient
and
attached to this question.
we just kind of hitting it. We don't have the all the exaltation of it, but we'll get it. Who likes heart despises neighbor? That's a good one. But a man of understanding, he keeps silent. All right. Did you want to jump in that? You gonna try to
Yes,
pass
but
me?
like pass.
Hallelujah. Bye bye.
Phone a friend. There.
Yeah,
This
yeah. There you
is. I have
go.
to. I have to look it up really quick. But
Wh-
there
wh-
is a cross reference for this, and I don't. It's elsewhere in the Mishle, but it deals with that verse about lacking heart. And I know that the Mishle have another answer for
Yeah, but maybe I'm
another
looking for that.
definition for this one, the who lacks heart, because there's a lot of definitions that go with this lacking of heart.
Uh-huh.
And I know that it's you can run a whole bunch of different ways, because the Mishle, it's attached to foolishness, to adultery, to being simple minded. So there's so many different ways you can go with that one. I was trying to find something that
Okay,
had
right.
more
So
of a root to it.
right. So what is this? How's this person treating their neighbor while you're looking at that? It's important to treat them in
So
righteousness, right?
yes, sir.
Yeah, we should treat them
Uh,
right.
yes, sir. So yeah, I would think that this is an individual that I don't know, would it be like you were saying unrighteousness, but I think you may also have some contempt in there, or maybe even some you could
So
even
so
throw in
so
there
it's
maybe even
okay. So
hatred.
let me see if I can help myself here. He who lacks heart, right? So if you lacking something,
Mhm.
then you're gonna you despise your neighbor, right? Is how I'm looking at this, right?
Yes.
So what we have to
Hmm.
do is we have to do good to our neighbor, right? We have to protect our neighbor. We have to safeguard, right? So to make sure that we have a good reputation with him, right? Or her or whoever, right? So that's we don't want to be one that do that, right? So we don't want
Yes,
to
sir.
just like that wind or whatever we were stirring up earlier. So it's telling you, but a man of understanding, what he does, he keeps silent, even though when say the temperature, you have a good discernment, right? A man of discernment is what that's. I think that's what it's all about. Let me make sure here. Let me look up some. Yeah, the shalom or the peace, the understanding of that, of keeping
Hmm.
silent. You know what I mean? So that's one that when I'm looking at that as that idiom in there is being one that is um or what I want to say, one to discernment. I guess that's the best way I can kind of put it there. Not the only way, but one of the ways in that. And when you're talking about one that's keeps silent, you hold your peace because you can always do something. Somehow somebody can always, you know, stir you up is what we say, right?
Yes,
Did you?
sir.
Yeah, I know you was looking for it. Did you find what you were looking for before?
No,
First.
I didn't, but I do like what you had said, because it helped me see it in a different way.
Uh huh.
So, so it would be like you said. This has to do with about the self control.
Mm-hmm.
So, like being in a heated environment, like, and
Yeah.
not losing your temper.
Correct. Uh huh.
So I would think like you're in a place with your neighbor. So obviously this is someone who's close to you, and I guess sometimes when you're dealing with people who are close to you, your guard can be lowered a lot quicker than when you're dealing with strangers or foreigners. And I know it's very easy, because those who are close to you know how to get under your skin,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
very
Yeah. Yeah.
easily. Well, I'm thinking that here is a great example of, those who are near, instead of meeting them on the level that they're at when they're coming at you from a lowly way, you keep your understanding. Like if they have lost their way of understanding, you don't join them in it. This
Mm-hmm.
individual is able to say, okay, I can clearly see that you are way off base. Or as some
Mm-hmm.
people, what is, there's a saying that goes with when when you misunderstand another person. I don't remember the saying right now, but I'm thinking that this would be an opportunity for the wise one to realize that there's another issue at hand.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever this person may be coming off the handle about, they're not also returning to them with as much vitriol as they're receiving. So they're holding themselves back, is
Mm-hmm.
the way I'm receiving what you're
Yeah.
saying here.
Right. Absolutely. And those of us that are righteous, because we don't want to be the one that does is lacking in our heart, right? So, we
Yes.
want to, yeah, we want to make sure that when we're talking about our neighbor, right? Because, it says, we got to love our neighbor as we love ourselves, right? So when we're talking about that, we want to make sure that we still use the wisdom and we still use understanding when we're doing that, right? And continue to walk in that. Uh, it was something else I wanted to put in here too. Um, mm, it seemed like I can't find none of the day. One of those days I get. I'm trying to find something else here. You got all of this written down, and now you're trying to find something else. But this is still there, right? Okay. To keep silent, that's
Yes.
dealt with that. Hold your peace. Or what else did I have down? Regarding, okay, taking reputation of your neighbor. So just protect your neighbor. Is that,
Hmm.
and I think we can roll with that. I think that'll be pretty good. All right. What else
I
do
have
we
one
have?
question for you, actually.
Okay, go ahead.
Could this, because I've been looking at it in its word order,
Mm-hmm.
because it has a different word order in the Hebrew, but if I just keep it here in English, would it be
What
like the
word? Yeah,
beginning?
what word order you have in Hebrew? I can look that up. Which one did you have? What?
Okay, yes,
Uh huh.
sir. Um, oh, let me get. I've got too many right here. But so in Hebrew, one of them, at least one of them that I'm looking at, it starts with deception. So it's saying who shows contempt for his neighbor lacks judgment, but a
Mm-hmm.
man of understanding remains silent.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the order in which I was just about to ask. So
Mm-hmm.
would it be that a person uh, who a deceitful or deceptive person lacks heart? They have a heart without understanding, and that's what causes them to despise their neighbor. Would that
Absolutely.
be
Yeah, because
possible?
and that's the reason they put in lack. So absolutely, you're
Mhm.
saying the exact same thing. They just use the word lack.
Oh,
You know what I
perfect.
mean? So if you like it
Mhm.
lack in thought, then that's what you do. Absolutely, my brother. Yeah, yeah.
Makes sense.
Right, right. So what you're doing is like avoiding. I think in one of the translations said avoid script. Let me see what else they have. Avoid. That's in King James there. Despise to speak. Yeah, yeah. The same thing in that. Uh,
So this is like an instruction on how to keep your character.
right,
This
right.
is like you said with avoidance. This is one of those moments where I think I found myself in a place where you're like, okay, what do I do now? Like if someone's blowing up on me, I don't
Yeah,
blow up back on
right.
them.
Exactly.
You're like, where's this coming from? you know.
Absolutely. I was looking at another thing there. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, the I guess the foundational verse, one of them that I had was where I kind of pulled what we call the title from is "Thus the righteous leads to life." And so I want to before we get ready to close here, I just wanted to kind of bring that out. The one who was doing evil to his own death, right? But I wanted to know that if you're sincere in your righteousness with the things of the Father, then you will advance to life. And then you can also include what we
Oh,
said down there earlier, which was brought up real good, and about the fruit of righteousness, right? I wanted to tie that in there because seek, right? The righteous in the earth shall be rewarded, right? And I think it kind of makes me think of a verse of the righteous will inherit the earth. In that, how much more than the wrong than the sinner in that? And uh, I wanted to. It was another one before we. I was looking at when I was going down. Here's one that I wanted to maybe close with, unless someone else had another scripture. But if not, without guidance, then this is very important. The people fall. We need guidance, right? But in a great counselor, there is safety. Now, do you have anything on that, my brother?
Oh yes, most definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow,
That's probably,
this
probably probably one of your favorite scriptures there. Huh?
it is so true. I think this is one where you say, "What does that look like?"
Yeah.
I believe we know what this looks like. Um, it just I love its simplicity, the way that the wisdom of Solomon worded this, because
Hmm.
we all know this to be true. And I think if we were to take this to the workplace, it'd probably be an easier way of understanding it. Um, for us who've had many jobs or if worked any profession for any number of years, we've probably been under different types of leadership.
Hmm.
And when I'm thinking about the fact that there is so many different types of people, you're also going to have with it uh, different types of instructions or how to do that or whatever it must be. So the way it comes out to me, and you're talking about verse 14, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yes, that people need a way. They need a way in which they should go, and we already know, like the master Yeshua was telling us, it's impossible for us to serve two masters. So it makes me think
Hmm.
about being taught how to do the same job by two different people.
Hmm.
It can be very confusing.
Hmm.
But with the right guidance, when you have one instructor or one counselor, then you find out which way is the most pleasing or which way is the most acceptable, or even how to just complete the task. Some people will say, work smarter, not harder. So I'm
Hmm.
thinking that, when you're in an environment where you're with the chosen or the leadership to which is approved of the Most High, and I mean approved of the Most High in the sense that this isn't, and now talking about the things of the Father, when we're dealing with the leadership in the Father, it has to be of Yah's doing, someone
Hmm.
who's called in the leader. Most of the time, this individual would have, had their hands laid on them by their teacher, had hands, and then from that perspective, their teacher would have been giving them the blessing to stand in their way.
Hmm.
So I'm looking at that you have so much safety in being under someone who is selected by Yah versus being on someone who is of their own calling. And like the hireling, when trouble comes, they're nowhere to be found.
Hmm.
So I find out that, you're going to have so much more shalom, uh, having an imitatable example in Messiah versus walking by someone who's leading by the wisdom and the voice of their own heart, not the heart of the Most High, because that's a heart without guidance, and it's going to cause not only them to fall off a cliff, but everyone who's following them. So I mean, that's just one way I would put it. There's obviously multiple ways, but that's what it's better to follow someone who knows what they're doing when it's all said and done. That's the easiest way I would say it, because there's so many interpretations on the Father's word, but which ones are going to lead you to life? Which ones are going to bring you into safety? What example are you following? Because when it's all said and done, we're imitating someone, and I hope that we would be imitating the people who have been chosen by the Most High.
Hmm. Absolutely. The one of the things that is very very important, because I think there's a lot of confusion sometimes, is without the guidance. You need guidance there, right? So those of you, we won't do it like tonight, but if you was to look that up and look up the definition of just in the English so far, right? And look, if you was to look that up, you'll find that I think in Hebrew it's thinking about direction, but the reason I say to look it up, because then it'll give you a bigger picture about that. So what you're doing is you steering the people or you directing them, just like you do a ship, like the rudder in the ship, you directing them, right? So you need direction.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things that Miss Leah Proverbs is telling us here is we need direction. If you don't have direction, then according, like, you can even sit this as in the nation or group of people or whatever. Then the reason that you have the guidance, the reason that you do have leadership is because there's safety there, right? And that's one of some of the things that
Yes.
you had brought forth, right? And and I think that's where, well, they translated it as great in there. Let me see if something else. It could be the reason I was trying to find something, but in a great counselor. Other words, I would put in there what you had said earlier, right? About this verse about those that follow after the wisdom, those that are talked about in this verse, those that have that fruit of
Mm-hmm.
righteousness, right? Not so much, because sometimes we see that word great and we think about, oh, he's so great, she's so great. That's not what we're talking about. It's great there then. That's what he's trying to, I believe he's trying to put down here, is greater than, right? But we all need that.
Yes.
We all need advice, right? In order to succeed, and it's necessary, right? It's necessary in that. So I think that if nothing else, then that's something that we could grab out of this. We'll grab the fact that we need to understand that we need people to guide us through this life, this advancement of life, this righteousness of life, And so we have our scriptures, right? We have the scriptures, but there are men and women that went before us in order to bring about success. And most times I think you even use the job. Most time on the job, we want to know, well, how did you get that? Or how did you do that? Or how you will succeed in that, right? So we require, all of us require somebody about something to see what their success is, and in that. And so if we get good advice, right, and then we get good counsel, that's a wise thing to do. Then we can make wise decisions, right? We make wise decisions. So I think that is
Yes.
something that we ought to be able to put in our heart, and I think we all do that. And then we don't have to. We can be a wise, right? And it was something else there. I'm not going to another verse. It was just something that I wanted to. What was that? We already did that
Was it
one.
verse
I think
10?
they put some good verses up tonight. Appreciate you guys for putting those up. Yeah, when the righteous probably, yeah, the city rejoice, because that means that we do things that are righteous, right? In that,
Mm-hmm.
so when righteousness is being done forth, then everybody can rejoice. In other words, everybody benefits from the counseling. Everybody benefits is that.
Yes, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking too.
And all of it, I know we kind of picked out verses, but like you said, brother, all of it kind of go together. And when you're dealing with Miss Lay, in that, even, let me see if I can find, I think something uh, might have been mentioned. I don't know if it was, let me see, the first chapter, I think could be a good cross reference for this. Um, yeah, a wise one hears and increase learning, and the understanding one gets wise counsel. See that right there? Wise counsel,
Yes.
right? So that's how you increase your
Yes.
learning, right? That's how you increase. You don't increase about sitting around praying about it or whatever, right? You have to get wise counseling. Now praying is fine, right? But I'm just saying you this is how you increase that. So one that is wise, though, they hear, right? And then they increase their learning. They get some understanding, but they get the wise counsel, right? So that's very, very important in that. And so, my brother, I think we'll get ready to close it up. Anything you want to add to that? Shout out to everybody that was in the room and that is here and joining us, and then those that would listen to it. it was my heart was full, so I know I kind of stumbled or whatever on that, but I had a lot to say, but didn't end up didn't say too much, huh? In that. So, he said, okay, something is messing up my thing here. Let's see what we got here. Did you have anything else, brother?
I was just checking out. I can see Mama G's notes there. I was just looking at that, but I like the last thing you had said about getting wise counsel. I think that's something earlier you tackled. What was it in verse 27 about earnestly? I think that's something we could say. At least that's the last thing I would like to say is that we should be earnest about getting wise counsel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say that's not just advice. I think that the easier way to say it is being in a relationship with someone who displays the wisdom of the Most High. You know, not just a 1-800 get advice line.
Yeah, yeah.
This is I think it would be along the lines. It's not I'm going to YouTube wise counsel. No, I believe the understanding one who gets wise, they're only able to achieve a greater wisdom or a higher understanding is because this is from the life experience of their counselor or their instructor. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe in the ways of the Most High. The people of Yah would have naturally they would have chiefs, they would have judges, they would have particular heads in the family, and those people would be recognized as those sources of wisdom, like Moshe, who sat down all day to give counsel to the people. So I believe in your assembly, in your whatever structure our family finds themselves in, that wise counselor should be a doorstep that they're wearing out,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that they may also learn and increase in the things of the Most High and pursuing Messiah Yeshua.
Hallelujah. Yes, absolutely, my brother. Well, we're gonna get ready to depart from this time, and I think it'd have been good. Like I said, I had a whole. Sometimes my whole, I'm trying to find the best words or whatever. It fills up on me sometimes, and you can only say so so much. I guess what you want to say in that in order to be something that'll be beneficial and something that you can remember. So continue those of you that. May whatever time you may happen to come across this and look at this, if you'd like to join us, tomorrow we'll be on chapter 12 and so forth. So it's something that can easily be done. Just read a chapter a day, and to give you something to meditate and to focus on. And those of us at the assembly, I know when we get a chance, we try to do that as well. So the whole month of the first month of the Gregorian calendar year is something that we put forth to do that again. Just a reminder of that, and I think it's a good thing, very very good thing. All right, okay, we're gonna let me see. We don't forget we did Proverbs chapter 11 on tonight, and so just go back through it and read it and. I would just skim and write one more time because soon as I close, I said, "Oh man, I should have said this." But I think we said enough, huh? All right. Well, we love you, my brother, and love those that will see this and all
Love you
is well.
too.
And so maybe we can continue. That's what I leave with. The fruits of righteousness, what verse 30 says, is a tree of life. Shalom, shalom, family.